All right, Boots, you have officially announced your move to 154 pounds. All right, first, how you feeling about it, and two, why?
I'm feeling great about it. You know, I'm very excited. I can't wait. You know, I feel like I'm gonna be on point. You know, a lot stronger, a lot sharper, and I feel like I finally just relax. You know, be myself.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. People been wanting to see this move for a minute.
Yeah.
And you know, you had your critics saying saying that you were afraid to move to 54.
Crazy.
And talk about the process. Talk about you actually deciding yo, now's the time.
Well, I feel like now's the time because I've been at 47 for 9 years, almost 10 years, and I've been making that weight for a long time, and I feel like the time is right. You know, it's that time. You know, and I feel like it's time for me to be comfortable and be myself.
Do you think, when you say now's the time? I know you wanted to be undisputed. I know that was a goal of yours. Mm. So what made you pivot from undisputed to yo, it's 54. It's now or never?
What made me pivot is some of these other champions, they taking other fights and things like that, and in between, and I feel like I don't have no time for that. You know, my goal was to be having them back to back. You know, fight champion after champion after champion, and move up to 154. Like I always said, even in the previous interviews, I said, I'm down here for the belts.
Why didn't you have time for that? Your promoter Eddie Hearn spoke about a situation with your doctor, and they said that you were underperforming. Is that why you wanted to run them all in a straight line very quickly?
Yeah, I mean that too, and I feel like I'm about to be 28 in a week. So I feel like it's just that time. I've been at 47 for, like I said, 9 years, almost going on 10 years, and I sucking all the way down to 47. I feel like it's just kind of like a lot, and even with the nutritionist, we got blood work and stuff done and things like that, just to see what I'm missing and what I need, and it basically was telling me I'm underperforming, I'm really at probably 30-40%, fighting these fights, and that took a consideration, as well, and so it was a lot of things. And like I said before, it just was time, it's time to move up, time to be me, time to be comfortable, and not play a dangerous game, going down to 47, because you got to be on point, when you cutting weight and things like that. Any hiccup or anything like that, it's, you can have an off night, and I don't want to have no off nights, I want to have, from this point forward, after that last performance, I got every fight, I got to have a crazy performance, an explosive performance every time out, and that's why I want to give you guys. So, I think 54 is where I'm going to do it at, and this is where they said the smoke at. So, I'm here now. So, let's make it happen. Let's get it popping.
When you talk about the weight and underperforming, right? Mm-hmm. People were shocked to see how you looked at the weight. Yeah. They felt like you looked drained. You said that you were fine, right? Is it one of those situations where I see boxers a lot of times, man. Boxers say that, yo, I'm good. I had a great camp and this and that, and then you find out afterwards.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a bean. All of us as boxers, that's what we gotta say. That's what we gonna say. At the end of the day, this is what we do for a living. We ain't turning down no fight because we injured or we don't feel good. If I have a bad camp, of course I'm gonna say I'm gonna have a good camp. Why would I say I had a bad camp? That don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Even with injuries, it's multiple camps where all of us fighters, even me myself, I was hurt, and I never said nothing to nobody. Nobody even knew I was hurt, and I still went out there and performed. We go through a lot, in camp and things like that. The cutting weight, the injuries, they don't know, dang, you don't know if you're gonna make weight, stuff like that, different things like that. It'd be a lot of mental stuff going on too. So, yeah.
How long I ain't gonna say how long you had a weight issue, but how long has making the weight the right way and making sure that, or worried about that you'll wake up good? How long has that been on your head, on your mind?
I'm gonna say it's been on my mind for a while. You know, I said like I'm getting older, and the older I'm getting, the harder it is for me to make the weight. Like I just said, I'm about to be 28, so it's not gonna get easier. It's only gonna get get a little harder. You know, and like you gotta basically be careful. You know, when you cutting weight like that, and you gotta make smart decisions and the right things. And I feel like I said, I'm not trying to sound repetitive, but I feel like the time now, and I'm ready.
Is there any like outside factors? Like, cause we've seen guys perform bad, either lose or then come in overweight.
Yeah,
and
that's another thing. Like I'm not trying to have a off night or a bad performance, and everybody be looking at me like, man, what happened? People don't even know when you cutting weight and things like that. That could affect a lot. It could affect fatigue. Your legs, like your mind, all that. Like you be weak. Like you just, for example, even look at Ray. Ray for Nick Ball. We all know Nick Ball can't beat Ray. Ray, you could tell Ray ain't had no legs.
Facts.
Like you could tell. Like you just tell he ain't had no legs. He had a pop, but when he moved to 30, he's comfortable. He felt good. So there's a lot of guys. You can go Earl. You can go a few guys.
Cool boy.
Oh yeah, Scoot. I'm tripping. Scoot stayed at his weight for too long. Me and Scoot, we actually was talking about that not too long ago, and he felt like he should have been moved up, but he was down there at the weight waiting for what's his name, MJ.
Yeah,
he was waiting for MJ, and MJ never fought him, and then he got the Undefeated fight. But he said, just like overstaying your part at weight divisions where you don't need to or don't have to. You gotta take into consideration your health is like more important. I know the fans and supporters gonna think this and think that, but at the end of the day, our health is more important than what else is going on in the world.
And you've seen fighters.
Yeah.
I've seen fighters actually make a decision while cutting weight. Like, look.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, but you don't want to be in the ring. Like, dang, like I should on fight night or fight day like that. I should just moved up, or you in the second, third round like that. I don't feel good. Like I think like I should just moved up. And you got bad thoughts. That's boxing mostly mental. You in the ring talking about saying you should have moved up. You already there now. You got rumble. Like it's not like nothing you could do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Boots. What do you think 54 has for you legacy-wise?
54 legacy-wise, the goals I couldn't, accomplish at 47, I'm gonna do it at 54. I feel like it's a lot of bigger names, at 54, a lot of tough guys, and I feel like nobody at 154 going to duck no smoke. I feel like everybody gonna fight everybody, and that's what I need.
Mario Barrios was a guy that you always wanted at 47. You wanted Brian Norman too. You were in talks with both. When you said like guys kind of like fucking around, is the Barrios Pacquiao situation, is that like a nail in the coffin? Like,
yeah, it just that. When both of those guys, went on to, do what they had to do, that definitely took another consideration. Like, it's just like they're gonna be down here playing around. I don't got time for that. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound repetitive, but I'll be 28. I'm getting older. I feel like, and I really feel like I should have been moved up. Maybe like a year or two ago. But I only stayed at this weight, to collect the belt. But I feel like it's getting harder and harder.